Welcome to the channel, everybody. I'm excited you're here, and today I'm going to be talking about spoilers, specifically spoilers for movies. So let me just start out by saying I don't like spoilers, okay? As a filmmaker, as a storyteller, an artist, I'm very, very passionate about telling good stories and taking people on a journey. This includes surprises as well as emotional, character, and story-driven payoffs. For me, I want people to be engrossed in the story that I'm telling and anticipate every good moment, whether it's a film or a story that I've created or if I'm just sharing another film. And I love doing that. I love sharing movies with people. I want to see if someone's gonna react the way I did to a specific moment or a certain reveal, or to see if they cried when I cried or whatever. I love that about storytelling. As humans, we have this natural inclination to connect to good stories and to respond in similar ways. And even if we don't always, we can still find, through lines, or we're fascinated by why you liked this moment or why you didn't like this moment, and it brings us into conversation, into understanding each other better. So stories, movies, films, they're a big deal. We've told stories throughout all of human history. That's one of the ways we kind of understand the world, because you're a character in your own life, just like everyone else is a character in their own life. And sometimes our stories converge, like you have a journey that you're on personally. So when we see that exemplified, and whether it's a film, a book, a TV show, whatever it is, we can easily relate to those things because we can also learn from these things. And we love to cheer things on as well. Like if a character accomplishes something very difficult, we see that and we're like, oh, like maybe I can do that too. So understandably, most people don't like spoilers. There are a few outliers out there that don't really care about spoilers, which is very, very strange to me, but that's beside the point for now. Let's get back to spoiler talk. So what exactly is a spoiler? I understand that it's probably pretty obvious to everyone watching what a spoiler is, but it can be a little bit different depending on the person. But generally, right? Generally, a spoiler is revealing an exciting story moment before the journey even begins. This can obviously make the journey of getting to that moment less enjoyable because you already know what's gonna happen. But in the age of social media, and this is really kind of the main point of this video, everything has become a spoiler. And I am sick and tired of it. Now, please don't misunderstand me, okay? I'm not giving anybody a pass to go on a spoiler spree. That's not what I'm saying. Nobody wants that, and if you do that, you're not gonna get invited to parties and you're probably not gonna have a lot of friends, okay? Just being honest. But because of the nature of algorithms, continuous scrolling, the ease of being able to quickly reshare or repost something, the idea of talking about a movie online at all before everyone in the world has seen it has essentially become grounds for people to verbally abuse one another. And that is just unacceptable to me. And again, I want to be very clear. I don't like it when anyone spoils a movie for me, whether intentional or unintentional, but I'm not going to cuss someone out over it. And I've got several reasons for this, okay? I've got a handful of reasons of why you shouldn't freak out if you think someone spoiled a movie for you, okay? So for starters, it might not be much of a spoiler in context, meaning you might think someone spoiled it for you and now you're frustrated, right? Well, maybe, yeah, be a little annoyed, but don't focus on it. Go see the movie, especially if you want to see it. Go see the movie, and then you might realize as you're watching it, you're like, huh, okay, that actually didn't really spoil the whole story, or it didn't spoil the scene or the moment, right? Or maybe you watched it and you're like, oh, that actually helped set up the thing that was really the payoff, and it didn't spoil the payoff, therefore it wasn't really a spoiler. So be aware of that. It's just not everything's a spoiler. So if you feel like it is, could be, but maybe you just need to go see the movie to find out for sure. Another reason you don't need to freak out about it is someone could just be lying to you. Crazy, right? Why would anyone lie about a spoiler? Have you ever been on the internet? Have you ever been on social media, right? That's how these platforms are designed, right? We have terms for everything. We have rage bait, clickbait, these platforms are designed to reward, unfortunately, kind of negative behavior because it reduces people to their baser instincts. It gets them irritated. It gets people to respond, or to like, or take sides. And so it drives more attention and it keeps you on your screen, which then makes you watch more ads. So as crazy as that may seem, some people just, they like to get a rise out of you. So they just could be lying. Another reason you don't need to get so ridiculously upset if someone gives you a few spoilers is the movie might be so good that it just doesn't matter. And I already kind of touched on that essentially in my previous point, but sometimes a movie is just so good that there's so many things that you're excited about. There's so many things that you're anticipating, that the story is so rich and so full. It's like, yeah, maybe a couple things were spoiled, but those spoilers didn't spoil the other spoilers. Those spoilers didn't ruin the entire story. So it's still worth engaging with that film or that movie, whatever, to really sit there and get lost in the characters or in that world. It's still worth it. So one of my last points I want to give here as to why you shouldn't freak out over spoilers, that's going to lead into kind of my closing topic, is you might forget the spoilers by the time you go see the movie. Crazy, right? Crazy idea. So let me give you a tip that might help you with this, right? If someone has spoiled the movie, or you think they have spoiled the movie, right? You may not be 100% sure on that, but let's just say they did, right? Let's just say they dropped a couple spoilers and you're like, now you're frustrated. Be frustrated, right? Take a moment, you're human, that's fine. But then just politely, if you can, say, hey, please don't tell me anymore. I don't want to be spoiled. And then change the topic of conversation, talk about a movie you both have seen, whatever. But don't focus on it. Don't focus on it, because if you focus on it, basically you're creating, a mental map in your brain. You're creating a pathway to remember that spoiler. Now, you might inevitably remember it because maybe you just got a great memory, and good for you. But if you don't focus on it, if you're not negative, if you're just like, hey, I don't want to be spoiled, and you start thinking about other things, you might forget part of what they said, or you might just forget everything they said. So I would suggest trying that out, because I've had that happen for me before. Like I've retroactively tried to even remember. I was like, oh, someone spoiled this for me, but now that I'm watching a movie, I actually can't remember what they told me. So that is possible. If you feel like someone spoiled something for you, do your best to just move on. Life is too good to worry about small things like that. And I say this as someone who is extremely passionate about movies and making movies and stories, okay? There's too many good stories, there's too many good films to worry about being spoiled by everything. So this part about forgetting spoilers leads into my last thing I want to talk about to wrap up here, and that is stop complaining about movie trailers spoiling movies, okay? It is way out of proportion. It's ridiculous. For whatever reason, I feel like over the past 10, 13 years, somewhere in there, this has been a talking point of people just constantly saying like, oh, trailers spoil everything. I don't watch the trailers. They show the whole movie. And I'm just over here like, whoa, what are you talking about? No. Now, if you watch trailers throughout history, styles change, right? Like the type of music that they use, whether they use a narrator or not, whether they're cutting fast, whether they're emphasizing music, you'll see trailers kind of have certain styles through decades and things like that. It's totally fine. But to just say that like, oh, now trailers ruin movies, I'm like, that is the exact opposite of what a trailer is supposed to do. It's just supposed to get you excited. I can count probably on one hand how many times I've watched a movie and afterwards I've thought, man, I feel like the trailer spoiled the whole thing for me. I'm not saying I've never thought that or never felt that, okay? But it's not really a lot. And I think, again, because of social media, because of repetition, because of reposting, resharing, and just parroting, like, oh, this person said this person I follow over here said this, I watched this commentator, they're saying this, and because everyone's saying it, it's like you just believe it. And I heartily disagree with it. You used to be able to sell movies basically on star power alone. Not to say that people don't have favorite actors and want to go see those actors, but we have so many different ways of consuming entertainment now. We've got TikTok, we have Reels, we have Shorts, we have all these different platforms. So that still kind of works for some people, but it's not as powerful as it used to be. So trailers are still important because you got to know the title, right? That gives you an idea of what it might be about. It's good to know, like, is this a crime drama? Is it a horror movie? Because you may not like horror movies. So you might want to watch a trailer. There might be something in there of like, I like stories with these types of characters, right? I want to get an idea of what the story is because I like a certain type of story. And there's certain stories I don't like. So if I watch a trailer, I'm like, oh, I don't like stories like that. Not to go see it. For me, sometimes I watch trailers and I see some of the content that's in it or the subject matter specifically, and I'm like, yeah, I morally have an issue with that. So I'm not gonna go waste my time or my money on that movie. Trailers are helpful, okay? I'm not saying that they never spoil anything for people. Again, spoilers are a little subjective. They're a little bit different for everybody. Like, I might watch a trailer and feel like it spoiled nothing. You might watch it and be like, oh, it spoiled a lot. Everyone's a little bit different. But just to say that all trailers spoil in movies is just absolutely absurd to me. So one little example and I'll be done. I was talking to some of my buddies about this a while back, about this whole idea of trailers spoiling movies. And we were talking about a specific movie, I can't remember which one right now, but we were talking about a specific movie and I was talking about the trailer. And I mentioned something that happened in the trailer. And as we were talking, one of my buddies was like, wait, that was in the trailer? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I don't even remember that. Proving my entire premise, my whole point. You're over here telling me that trailers spoil movies, but you can't even remember what's in the trailer. So how is the trailer spoiling the movie for you? It's just crazy to me. Because then this also leads to a point of people literally like not even, like I don't even want to know the actor in it. It's like, what do you mean you don't want to know the actor? Like knowing the actor is not a spoiler. Like it's just crazy. So that's gonna wrap it up for me, guys. Thank you for letting me rant. I just needed to get that out. I don't know if anyone's gonna watch this or care as much as I do, but part of the reason I wanted to talk about it too is because there's a shakeup in the industry right now. If you're following the box office, like there's some indie filmmakers, some YouTubers coming up that are getting their movies in theaters, and I'm all about it. Unfortunately, I haven't been very impressed by, you know, the movies that Hollywood's been giving us for about a decade or so. Not to say they don't make good movies from time to time. There's always good movies. You know, you just have to, I feel like, search harder for them now than you used to. And if we've got up and coming filmmakers, people putting in the blood, sweat, and the tears, and they're getting enough funds to make a movie, and maybe they get distribution, maybe it's not across the whole country, but maybe they get some theaters, like word of mouth is important, talking about it is important. And I want to create a healthy culture about talking about stories, about talking about movies, where people aren't like, oh, stop spoiling. It's like, if we do that too much, those movies might not succeed as well as they could because people don't talk about it. They don't share about it. So as silly as that may seem to some of you, it's important to me. Word of mouth is important. Talking about movies is important. And again, I reiterate what I said from the very beginning. I don't like spoilers. Do your best to not spoil. Just communicate with people. Be kind to people. And if they want to talk about a different movie or whatever, change subjects, just be respectful, okay? That's really the point. If you made it this far, I can't thank you enough. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel. I'm having a lot of fun doing it, and I'm so grateful for the time you guys spend with me. I really, really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one.